But why? Since we were more disassociated in that time framework, through the communicative devices that have been inaugurated in this later time period, we are able to express it at a higher frequency of reality. Okay, yes, it's lovely to listen to that and hear what I say, but you remember this. This remains your mind construct. Okay, this is your atonement. This is the statement of your reality in the declaration of the unreality of death. Okay, that's your assignment, dear teacher. We'll be back. I want you to understand me clearly here when I express the unbound gratitude that I feel for our dear brother Jesus Christ, and for you in your determination to make this repair, to bring about this repentance. Okay. There is no possibility that I could have inaugurated this or completed this great endeavor, this great purpose of light without you. Sometimes it appears that as a whole mind I make dogmatic statements about my own association. On the contrary. Okay. The method by which I came to know this was the annihilation of my thought forms in association with the value systems that were previously a part of my dream. This is the way that I teach it, forgive and love. And if you'll do that, you'll begin to sense the reality of these images and thought forms that are now coming into your mind, and those that we share out of time, rather than in this apparent sequential relationship of thoughts. I love you more than anything else in the universe, for you are a part of me, and we are together in this final endeavor. We share that certainty of Almighty God, don't we? Of a single creator, of a single source. How could it be conflictual? How could there be a problem except in our continued defiance and denial of our own wholeness and perfection? And I declare to you that you are whole and perfect. That's my statement to you. If you believe me, you will be with me in this endeavor. Is it true? Of course it's true. All the message that Master Jesus, or you now as you become an advanced teacher, will ever declare is that heaven is real and that hell is an illusion of death. Begin to teach that now, teacher, and watch what happens. Watch the miracle that will occur as you begin to make this declaration. Why? It's a statement of truth, and it's contained within your own mind, and through the practice of it, it will come about in you despite the reservations that you still entertain. Okay? You listen. We'll always be with you, and we'll be back. We're on the tape. We're at the kitchen of God. At the kitchen of God's country place. It's Tuesday before Resurrection Day, and I am sometimes when I'm going to elucidate or define, I will sit for a few minutes and attempt at an admittedly different condition of consciousness to formulate the wholeness of my mind in an attempt to communicate to you definitions that will inaugurate in you a new framework of your self-association. What I was doing before I turned on the tape was formulating in my mind what we mean by A Course in Miracles, or more directly, what a miracle is. And we'll begin with a sentence that Jesus uses in the Course. Are you ready? Time has been adjusted to bring about the atonement in you. Now, that does not mean particularly the time has been adjusted within your your absolute definition of yourself genetically. That remains as it was. But within this, what you would call continuum, if you would look at time as a fabric of thought consciousness, there has been an intrusion or an indication of the mechanistic possibility of a speed up in your direction of sequential or linear time. And this probably would best define the miracle of my awakening, which was nothing but an absolute insertion of light that carried me to the omega point from which I speak in association with my with my thoughts. Now, while I may sequence them momentarily for you, they are at a different pitch of reality. They emanate from a different, what you might call, position within the space-time continuum, don't they? All right. Here's how a miracle works. I direct you, okay, or the Course in Miracles, which is the insertion of this energy, directs you to take your perceptual mind continuity. These are all the thoughts that you have, which are in association with sequentiality, aren't they? This is the indication that you, within your framework of thought, genetically, each moment have already derived a conclusion to your present association of thought patterns. I'm going to change that. That obviously would be a miracle. Okay. If you're walking down the street and suddenly are going to, say, develop cancer, okay. When I say suddenly develop cancer, it's because my mind would take you through the cancer and the whole death and everything in just a moment, although you don't do it that way. Now, you're walking down the street, and as you have configured yourself within your associations, getting, for some of you, cancer is absolutely inevitable because you are designed by your own congruity of thought to terminate yourself in your associations that you are presented with, that as you constitute yourself. Okay. Now suddenly you come upon me. All right. This does not have to do with your observation of the miracle unless you are determined that it does. Okay. My mechanisms of healing, okay, will shift your mind in relationship to itself. And when you walk around as a healed teacher, this is happening all the time. This is a notation of Jesus that the miracle is going on all the time. This is what I do. Now, is it necessary that the miracle be noted by the consciousness? To be defined as a miracle, the phenomena of the recovery, all right, the phenomena of the increase in happiness by a reassociation of the mind can be very important to the consciousness. The nature of my awakening precluded the happening of miracle except in retrospect because it was a dramatic insertion that caused enlightenment. We are now teaching to the point where you may utilize this shift in time that has occurred to do what? Bring about a shift in your time mind. Huh? Isn't that what we're going to do? If you made a decision right at this moment for the perfect miracle of your enlightened awakenment, okay, I positively guarantee you that not only would it occur, but that it did occur. Jesus calls this a holy instant, and this is the progress of perceptual observation of itself in its journey to the light, okay? It feels this aha moment, this moment when there's a shift in consciousnesses. Much more happens at that time than the consciousness who is perhaps fearful of this occurrence wants to admit happens. As a matter of fact, at that moment, he literally steps out of time, okay, reconfigurates everything in his perceptual association and returns to a new world, but he doesn't know it. He continues to hold on to himself in his relationship with his disease. He need not do that, need he? If he will listen to these directions. There's a sentence in the Course where Jesus says, you may live in the holy instant from now until the end of time, which will be just a moment. Isn't that lovely? Okay. This does, however, require first the admission of the miracle, and second, as Jesus would say, becoming miracle-minded okay, in order to allow the natural result of whole-mindedness to appear before you in the new vision of your reality. Now, you've got all these unhealed teachers, and by unhealed, I'm attempting to heal. All right. Early in the Course, Jesus says, if you're not healed, you shouldn't try to heal. Of course, everybody does, because they try and repair their minds within the framework of their own perceptual observations. That being said, it's sad to watch consciousnesses utilizing the Course in Miracles within the framework of their consciousnesses, formulating it in their limited perceptual observations and literally preventing the miracle from occurring. Okay, and using sentences like, the Course evolves self-reliance. As a matter of fact, it's exactly the opposite of that. It involves God-reliance. Right? Totally. And the moment one would become totally reliant, he would spring into heaven one day. Okay. Inevitably, an unhealed teacher will end up teaching exactly the opposite of what the Course teaches, and perforce he must. Why? Because he's in a limited perceptual evaluation of himself in his time associations. Okay. Is it possible then for you to listen to this tape, all right, and see the difference in your relationship thoughts that are occurring in your mind? Of course. This is the miracle of the atonement, the changing of your mind in association with the perceptions that are all about you. Now, let's look at the difficulty you're having. I proclaim to you that you are dreaming and that the images you see about you are just reflections of thoughts that are changing each moment. Okay. The power or the decision of your mind to change this, I declare to you to be absolutely inviolate, since all of the power of the universe is contained in your mind. Your decision to work miracles inevitably has been connected with your decision to retain the limited self in a time framework. Now, isn't it time that you looked at the result of the miracle of the power of your mind that is happening to you within your limited genetic time framework? You literally condemn yourself to death. You obliviate yourself within the narrowness of your perceptual observation. And I want to try to widen that for you. Okay. I want you to see, we'll start out here. There is no death. Time is a method that you have invented and are employing to associate yourself with yourself in denial of your own reality. Now, the workbook will direct you to start practicing that, and as you walk down the street, why don't you begin to practice stopping time? Okay, taking these perceptions, I watch consciousnesses that are asleep within the framework of their own cause and effect. The only thing that can possibly happen is the direction of their own causal mind. The result at that frequency are built into the fabric of that association of time, don't you see? We are directing you then to utilize this new light energy to stimulate, to ignite the genetic response that is possible within the framework of your symbiotic relationship of body response. What did he say? What did he say? I don't know. Though now, here's the advantage of it. More and more teachers are going to evolve that are teaching whole-mindedness. It's more than a teaching in the sense of the exchange, and this was the teaching tape of yesterday. It's a declaration by the healed teacher, by the advanced teacher, that he is whole-minded and does not associate in his mind with partiality. Okay? He literally is in a different framework of time, and this is what I say to you. Now, the miracle then will be that occurrence in your relationship with yourself through the propinquity, through the ancillary involvement of yourself in association with this mechanism. I positively guarantee you this is true. When I make the declaration and have made to you that you cannot die, okay, obviously if you can't die and there is no death, there's no need for you to be sick. Sickness is just a little death. Certainly there'd be no need for you to get old, would there? Why would you want to get old? Except that you've associated with this genetic pattern of aging. Many of you who have come now to God's Country Place and are listening to this tapes notice this new vitality that is enveloping you, this new light energy as you make the declaration, I'm not going to die. Of course, it would be inevitable. Why? Because the cellular response of your own memories is always to eternity and inevitably, because survival is the, longevity. Total longevity would be the closest that you could get to eternity. And if you eliminate the possibility of extermination or time, you will get an automatic cellular response to your own enlightenment. I don't know how clear this is, but